telling you guys, go back and rewind and watch this whole thing over and take notes. But you touched on building a group and adding value and putting content in there and then allowing those people to push you to the top. In my opinion, that's the best sign of leadership. If you see, now you have a track record. Now you have a winning track record. So now if you double down now and you've got all this support, you've got all this fuel, imagine where you're going to go in the next 5 years. That to me is such amazing leadership when you're able to empower people and let them push you. And what I've done many, many times, Shawn, over the years, I'm 45. I'm not sure exactly how old you are, but I've built several very powerful teams in dealerships, and I would let them push me right on up to the top, man, to where somebody could do it as good or 90% as good or 80% as good as I could do it. And I wasn't needed anymore. And I have trained so many people in so many dealerships that are general managers, finance managers, sales managers, GSMs, and that's so. There's going to be, I've received a lot of criticism as well throughout my career, but no one has ever criticized Billy on his training. They always try to hire and recruit my people because they're the best trained, they're the best prepared, and I'm very thorough at building great teams. And then if those teams don't need me anymore, then why should I hang around? I could go into bigger and better things.
Right. Well, my team's amazing because they buy into me. Yeah. And they know that I put everything I got into them. See, my job's not to grow my sales staff, right? Even though that's what I'm doing through osmosis and through management styles, but that's not my job. My job is to grow my people, my managers. And when I grow my managers and I cultivate and I push them and I hold them accountable and I show them what leadership is, and I show them that, that when you have a lot party and your ass is out there helping them move the cars, okay, that is the type of management that people follow, right? So when I grow them in that way and then they move on, which I told them all, my job is to get you to that next level and I push you out, okay? I want to push you out of the nest, but you better lead this place better than when you found it, and you better train your next person, and you better push that person, and you better grow that person. So every day, all the managers, they come in to grow the people. And when that happens, man, we got such a dynamic place to work right now, man, because it's like Google back in the day, man. I really feel like that's what Google and some of those companies, those Silicon Valley dealerships or people were doing. They grew their people, they invested in them, they kept it small, right? They pushed them, and it kind of breathed like a heartbeat. And that's what we're doing. It's amazing to watch right now, actually.
That is cool, man. And so counsel me here a little bit. I've got a very fast growing business. We're one of the fastest, I think we're the fastest growing software company in the car business now. We're definitely our marketing company. We grew from one event per week. I do event style marketing for dealers. We grew from one event and one employee, me, to now we have almost 50 employees. I'm hanging right around that 40, 48, 49 employees. We've worked with over 1,700 car dealers nationwide. We're doing about 50 to 60 events per week. Okay. And I've made a commitment to invest in my people, invest back in my company. We've yet to have two declining months in a row. Like if we have a super July, we may be not quite as big as that in August, but in September will be ahead of August. We've never had two declining months.
That's good.
We've never beat the last year's month. This month we're doing more than we did last year at this time. But my challenge, of course, I think a lot of people face this, is finding or getting. I do believe that people will buy into you before they buy into your vision. So if you're not worthy of buying into, like you said, your people buy into you, then you're going to have problems. But getting them to see that big vision, because I know when you took over the dealership, you didn't just say, hey, we're going to do a little bit better. We're going to do big things. So speaking to me and to these managers and to these GMs out here, how do you get that buy-in? How do you build that culture of growth that you said your people's job is to grow the other people? Help the high performers. We got to get our people performing, man. How do you keep buy-in from your management team?
Man, okay. There's a lot to it. Okay. It's not any single one, but I will say this, that they're not going to buy into you first day. They're not going to buy into you the first week. My GSM who buys into me and, now, but I've been here 7 months, Billy. Okay. It took me time out on the front line. It took me in those hard late nights and those early mornings. It took the failing and then overcoming. And they watch you. They watch your actions. They don't listen to your words. They watch your actions, right? They might listen to your words after they watch your actions. But once they watch your actions and they see, look, you can't go close that person, give me the paper. I go out and I close it, right? I send you with numbers and I coach you. I don't yell at you. I bring you in. I say, here's what you need to say. Okay, listen to me. And then I say it to them and they say it back. And then they go out there and then they have success at that, right? And then the next time something happens and I go out and I solve the problem for them. Look, it's a daily thing. It's daily proof in my pudding. And that's when they buy in. Now you can come in with a beautiful vision, and I did. And I told them how it was going to be. But remember, they've been in a dealership that was failing for a long time, and they heard all that stuff before, man. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it. They heard it till they were blue in the face and nothing changed. Okay. And then I come in with a different energy that some guy on Facebook, right, that Liza brings in here, and who knows if he knows what the hell he's doing, and who knows if he's going to follow through on his promises and the things that he says every day. But when they see it happen and they see little changes, and I tell them to look for this. Look, here's our short-term, our mid-term, and a long-term vision. Watch for these things along the way. When you see these things happening, you'll know we're making strides. You know we're making moves. And you can't be scared to make the hard moves, right? You invest in your people, you check your processes out, and then you make sure your profit lines are good. And when you do those three things, man, the whole place will turn around. Now, I tell people all the time, and which I do, this is a freaking Titanic. You cannot turn the Titanic immediately. It takes a little bit of time. I understand. That's why I give them short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, right? Because if they're just focused on that long-term goal and they don't see it happen in the first 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, they might start fading out on you, right? But we have to have little wins along the way, little goals, little excitement, right? And I'm a GM that's a little different, Billy. I'm out on the front. I'm out the front constantly. I don't sit in this office.
Man, I just wrote that down. I just wrote it down, not to cut you off, man, but just listening to your answer there, I can tell you're a great coach and you work from the front line. I think if more people would work from the front line and be a leader from the front line, and again, you said it takes time and to set the proper expectations. So, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but I just had to.
You're absolutely right about that.
Leader. Yeah, man. So
you're absolutely right.
Have you always been a frontline leader? When did you realize that you have?
Yeah, I've always been a worker bee, man. I've always been a worker bee with tremendous people skills. I've been a worker bee and a person that gets things done, but I've always had great leadership skills. And I believe in team, and I believe in teamwork and bringing people together. Like, that's always been a talent of mine, right? So I know that, but I'm just a freaking salesman, man. Right. I spent how many years out on the front line? Yeah, you know what I mean? Great ideas I had over the years, and I go to management, and management will poo-poo them. Yeah. Right? Because they don't either want to put the effort in or don't want to change things, but I knew they needed to be done. I just kept those all in the back of my head and said, when I get my chance one day, I will do all the things that I want to do that I know are right. And I won't do all the things that I've seen wrong during the years. Right. Mm-hmm. And they're obvious. They're obvious. And I don't even understand why businesses do them. I don't get it. It blows my mind when I see them do the mistakes they do over and over and over and keep repeating the same processes when they're broke. I know, they're broke. Why do you keep doing them?
I know.
Why do you keep putting these people in place, Billy? Keep putting these people in place that or leaving them there too long when you promoted the wrong person, or you hired the wrong person, or they're not the right person. You know it, but why do you leave them there, man?